Smith. Okay, now it's on. Okay, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy B. George Smith, and this is 150 Sports Talk. I am fresh from Florida, South Florida, South Beach. As
Shameless plug.
I'm a little darker than I usually am. I'm competing with DJ right now. It's all gonna end in like about 2 days, but I'm yet holding on. So I got a couple of the fellas here. I got DJ Brown, I got James White, all the way from Houston. I got Teron Houghton, and what we're doing right now, we're gonna be talking about a couple things. We're gonna be talking about NBA free agency rumors, NBA draft, and just regular NBA stuff. We'd already got started before we even hit record, so the guys are ready because we haven't had a show in a while. And to everybody that said I didn't have a show because the Spurs won the championship,
Teron was one of them.
I waved my flag all day. I was in Florida. I was on
what
somebody.
What happened was George was going to start the show, but he pulled a cramp.
The AC went out.
No, I wanted to do the
talk
show
about the playoffs, then we going right to the draft. We ain't even talk about the finals.
I twisted up my foot, but I still took the free throws after, so I'm tough.
Oh, wow.
That's what champs do.
That's what champs do. You mean the store?
5-time champs do.
Yeah.
That's right.
Robert Horry, really. Anyway.
So
I'm be nice with you, George, man. I'm trying to be nice.
I can't act like I wasn't a Lakers fan, yo. I can't act like I wasn't, because I was there for the first 3, but them last 2, I wasn't a part of those.
Because LeBron came in the league?
Huh? No, I left the Lakers when they traded Shaq because it was the dumbest move they've ever made in their history. That's why I left.
The dumbest move that they made in their history was signing Mike D'Antoni to be the coach.
That's not the dumbest move.
That's the dumbest move. I'm gonna you want me to go in on that right quick? That was
They gave away. Kobe could be past Jordan right now if they'd have kept Shaq.
Nah, Kobe was gonna pass Jordan if they would have kept Shaq. If they would have kept Shaq, they would have got worse. Shaq was on his back end, man.
Shaq only had one. He only had one more good year.
He had one more good year, and he gave y'all that. After 06, he flamed out. He was average then when the Heat won the championship with him. And then you couldn't find him on the map. That was the best move he could have made. And they won 2 championships.
I'm explaining to you why he flamed out in Miami. The reason why he flamed out in Miami is because Pat doesn't like out-of-shape basketball players. When Shaq was in L.A., Shaq was allowed to do whatever he wanted. Fat Burger, Roscoe's, Krispy Kreme, all of that. Shaq was allowed to do whatever he wanted as long as he put up 30 and 15. Am I right?
When it was working, yeah. But that got old in 03 when the Spurs bounced him out and he decided to have toe surgery right before the season started and still wanted $28 million a season.
But that's the thing, like Shaq just felt like he could do whatever he wanted, and the Lakers had let him do whatever he wanted.
And they got tired of it.
That's not Shaq's fault. That's a faulty Lakers hierarchy.
Well,
that's BS. Shaq is a grown man. He's a smart man. He knows what and what not to do as far as for his career.
Teron is
been being physical, even his physical health, his health rather.
Teron, is Shaq a spoiled brat?
Of course he was. He always has been. But I mean, that's what happens when you're the best player at your position for so long. I mean, that's developed. But again, like if it was working all that time, then why stop him? You know, if he was dominating and being spoiled, then why stop it?
But see, that's what happens when he got in the presence of Pat Riley. You heard Pat Riley the other day in the press conference talking to them. He was talking to LeBron like I was watching the press conference like Pat. Bruh, you trying to keep him?
That might as well have been a one-on-one interview, one-on-one sit down with LeBron.
Dog, it was great. I loved it.
I loved it too.
I absolutely loved it.
I really feel like he didn't say anything that he hasn't already said to them, like to their face.
Right.
I don't think none of that was like brand new.
Right.
I think all of that was just like, hey, I already talked to them about this, so like whatever.
Yeah.
So I really feel like when Shaq got in his presence, like Pat wants you to be in shape. Like Pat, all of that stuff, you're not gonna hit the court without all of that.
But you got to remember though, they play a different style of offense than the Lakers played. The Lakers always brought up court and played a slower post up kind of game. The Heat was always fast breaking, so
that's another thing too.
He couldn't stay on the floor.
So, like I said, man, I really believe that Shaq would have passed Jordan. I mean, Kobe would have passed Jordan. Kobe would have definitely passed Jordan. Kobe would have had 7. Like, I really believe that.
So you think he would have won 4 more with Shaq?
Yeah. Because how many years did he go without?
No.
But Shaq wasn't.
No. And Shaq wasn't going to have that. Shaq wasn't going to have Kobe be the man while he's playing on the same team. What he did for Dwayne Wade, he wouldn't do for Kobe. No, he had a choice. He could have gotten in the way, and that it should have been that way in 03, because Kobe was a better player then. But all of that changed. Their situation, they couldn't have played another year together. That was it for that.
Yeah.
That was it for that. And it's a crying shame.
It wasn't it. It wasn't
really,
it. I strongly disagree.
I
strongly disagree with that.
That was it. They really, truth be told, they probably should have won the championship earlier than what they did. That team was a pretty good team in '98 and '99.
But Kobe wasn't ready.
It wasn't Kobe that wasn't ready. They weren't ready to unleash him. They kept Kobe under wraps a lot too.
They did.
But Kobe was not ready. You forgot the air balls in Utah, bro?
That was the rookie year.
Yeah.
That was his rookie year. We're not talking about '98.
But he was playing behind a proven starter in Eddie Jones also.
Yeah.
And he was better than Eddie Jones.
When?
He was more talented. I think Eddie Jones is more productive.
I think you can't say that he's more productive when Kobe didn't have that chance to prove at that time.
It's like, I guess reliable is probably the better word. Like
I get that. I get that. It's just at the end of the day, I agree with James. They were a great team. I don't think that Kobe wasn't ready. He just never had that chance to prove.
Especially then. '98, he made the All-Star game. He was a starter on the All-Star game, even though he was Eddie Jones' backup. They have 4 All-Stars. You mean to tell me they can't play together? You can't create a system where you get Kobe Bryant and Eddie Jones on the court at the same time? If they're that good of a player, why do you have to circumvent one guy's minutes to the other? If they're beasts, play them on the court.
They both play the same position.
So?
That's a big so.
I don't know. I just think it was different back then. I just think that when you were drafted, like you had to, in that era, we're talking about pre-2000, you had to earn your playing time. And, it was just an old school mentality. And I think Kobe had to earn his time, and all those air balls helped him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now you get drafted and they expect you to play from day one. It wasn't like that back in the day.
No, I mean, they didn't want to draft him at all. I mean, back then, he really kind of broke the mold because, remember, he was picked 13th in the '96 draft. I mean, they weren't, it was still new about these little high school players coming straight out of high school going to the pros. At the time, Kevin Garnett hadn't proven himself. In the '96 draft, he gets picked 13th. They got guys like Todd Fuller and Vitaly Potapenko drafted before Kobe, which is ridiculous.
To make it worse.
Vitaly Potapenko was nasty in live back then. Son.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Better than Kobe? Come on.
And he was also traded for a fan favorite in Vlade Divac too. I mean, so that all probably played a part.
Well, they had to trade him to make room for Shaq. All of that happened all in the expanse of a month, and it was great. But we could always talk about what was. I still think that was the best duo ever that played at one time together. They were dominant when they had it going, but Shaq wasn't committed to. He wasn't a health maven. Let's put it that way.
quick pause for the cause. Can one of y'all post the link for this? Because I'm trying to get it, and it won't allow me to copy it and post it.
I'll try it.
Okay, there it is. Devil is busy. Every time I go to copy it, it won't let me copy it. Got it. All right. But I think that like I said, that was the reason why I was just like, you know what, I'm done with this team, because that just made no sense to me. Like,
to get rid of Shaq.
Huh?
You mean
got rid of Shaq? All right, tell me, how did y'all feel when they got rid of Shaq?
I felt, me not being biased, and everybody know Kobe's my favorite player. Lakers are my team, win or lose. I think it was smart, only because
at the time,
yeah, at the time it was smart, because at the end of the day, Shaq they took the younger stud. Like, Shaq was on his way out.
I was pissed. I'm gonna tell you, I was pissed. I didn't like Kobe. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I didn't like Kobe. Kobe and I graduated in the same year, high school, and all of that. I didn't like the guy, but I respected his game. And for me, I mean, I don't have to like you as a person to like. I'm here to watch you play basketball. And I'm thinking to myself at the time, okay, Kobe's 26, Shaq's 32. If we got to split this up, let's go with the 26-year-old. We'll get more miles out of him. But there was no way they were going to play together. So, you know, I hated it came to that. But I didn't like what Shaq did during that season. I didn't like how they played when we got blown out by the Pistons. I was mad about that whole thing.
Terrible, man.
I was mad about that whole thing. And all of my friends that were Pistons fans were calling me nonstop. So I was already mad. I was just on edge every day during that summer anyway. But, I mean, it had to break up. You got to go with the younger guy. So
were they really Pistons fans?
Yeah, I got family members that were real Pistons fans.
Okay.
And I mean, like real Pistons fans.
There's been a lot of Spurs fans in June this year and in June of 2013 before Game 6 and 7.
Hold up. I think there's even more Heat fans starting like 3 years ago.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
Because y'all just come out of nowhere, like.
This is true.
And
that's true.
And if LeBron bounces, there won't be that many Heat fans anymore.
That's also true.
I remember all the Cavalier fans. I don't know what happened to them.
That's true, but I mean,
George, I'm friends with a famous producer who I will keep nameless.
I know who you're talking about too.
Would always wear Cavalier hats and was, I'll go to and it was Cavalier down. As soon as the decision happened, wearing Heat stuff all day. Just So,
sign that form, man.
That bandwagon form.
Bandwagon form.
But I mean, all right. I guess we could talk about this too, because like first I saw First Take do a nice little it was a nice little propaganda piece where they were showing pictures of old Heat players, not even that old. It was like Glenn Rice, Eddie Jones, Rodney Cycli is like one of the first Heats, but
yeah,
it was like they were showing the fans the pictures in Miami, and the people had no idea, like nobody could pick them out. So I'm just like, how many Lakers fans could really pick out Gail Goodrich if they showed them a picture of Gail Goodrich?
Well, being that Gail Goodrich hadn't played since '72, that's probably not a fair one to pick.
But that's what I'm saying. It was like all young people and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to say ditzy, but there was a couple ditzy people in there. And like, I mean, like, I don't know. I think like, I personally, as a Heat fan, I don't mind the bandwagon fans. What I do mind is like, I don't like an uneducated opinion. I hate ignorant opinions.
Oh, you mean like DJ Khaled?
Son, I feel like he cursed the Heat that day.
Yo, I watched that live. I'm like, yo, what is this dude talking about? Like,
Wow.
I thought they screened people before they put them on air.
And it was like Carrie Champ. Did you see the way Carrie Champion was sunning him like the whole time?
Yeah.
She was like, okay, so y'all got it. All right. Okay. And then she would like turn around and skip like, do you believe this? And like Stephen A. Smith is just sitting there like,
Wait, so your source is the streets, right? Like,
right. The streets is talking. So your source is the streets. It's like, yes, we the champs, we the best. All this foolishness. I mean, that's just another example of the whole thing. When they went to San Antonio, they had Sean Elliott. They had like all these educated people.
George Gervin.
And then they get to Miami. Nobody's calling Zoe. Nobody's calling Hardaway. They calling Florida.
Khaled.
And they calling Khaled to come talk about basketball.
And Trey Songz.
Right.
Oh, Mr. Power.
All right, so let's talk about these finals. DJ, what do you the finals are over, but what happened? What do you feel like happened in the finals?
I don't think what's my guy name? Kawhi Leonard was the X factor. He was just the machine. But the X factor for the Spurs for the Spurs that they all right, everybody knows that the Heat didn't have an answer for Kawhi Leonard and him hustling and all that. But Boris Diaw, man, he played some intelligent basketball. His IQ was at the highest that I ever seen him play. And I used to hate Boris Diaw, especially when he was with the Suns. I hated him because he always used to give the Lakers problems. I hated him. But years later, I thought he would slow down, but he just kind of in a sense reinvented himself. But I think the Heat just had no energy. LeBron did LeBron. LeBron did what he was supposed to do. He tried to make his teammates better. They just weren't knocking down shots. Mario Chalmers could not. Tony Parker ate his lunch every night. His dinner, his snacks, his breakfast for the next morning. He did everything to that young man. And I felt Norris Cole should have played more. It's just a lot. And then I felt Chris Bosh was he was outside of the paint too much. Like they didn't care. They wanted him to shoot that three. Even though it bit them in their behinds that one game. But it's numerous things that went wrong for the Heat that the Spurs did excellent. They just outplayed them all together, and surprisingly, it wasn't. Not surprisingly, but it wasn't Tim Duncan, and it wasn't Manu. It was mainly Kawhi and Boris, and of course Tony Parker on a few of those games. Well, most of the games.
James, your take on the finals?
Better team won the series. To me, it comes down to that. The better team won the series. I thought the Miami Heat. First of all, let me say this. It's hard to win a championship. It's hard to get to the finals twice. To get there 4 times in a row is tremendous, no matter who you have on your team. So I salute the Miami Heat for doing that. That's a strong team, to be able to do that. And it takes a lot out of it. And to me, they look like, I remember watching the Lakers in 2011 when they had gone to 3 straight finals and they played the Dallas Mavericks. And somewhere during game 1, Dallas realized they can't beat us. And they just started shooting all over the place. And the Lakers ran out of gas. There's nothing they could do. Everything that they did before, it worked before, it just wasn't working. And Dallas was just raining threes all over the place, and I swept them on out of there. They were out of gas. And I looked at the Miami Heat, and I saw it. Even when they won in game 2, players were hunched over, It's like they're out of gas. They are done, and it could get ugly. And I didn't think it was going to get ugly 3 straight times, but it looked to me the same way what the Mavericks did to the Lakers in 2011. That's what I saw. It's a team that has been deep in the postseason for 4 straight years, and they are spent. You know, they weren't weak. It wasn't like LeBron didn't have help. They had just beaten everybody. You know, they'd gone through the East pretty well. They were just out of gas, and they were out of gas against a team that makes you work. You know, the Spurs were working, and their thing was keep the ball moving, push it, work, shoot, make everybody work. You know, it wasn't 2 guys you can key on because everybody had the green light. And when a team like that is hitting their shots, you're not beating them. They lost to a better team, and that's it.
So, Ron, your take on the finals?
Well, I personally thought the finals were great. I really enjoyed watching it, and I had a ball, man. I really did, man. You know, it was great basketball to watch, and for any basketball fan, I mean, just watching the precision in which the Spurs dismantled the Heat, it was amazing. They picked them apart, and you know, my take on what happened, I thought that it went just the way I planned. I mean, I told somebody before that it would be 5 games and 6 tops because I just saw the Spurs as a more complete, more robust team, and I didn't think that Miami had the firepower to stay with them. I thought that the Spurs, just like DJ mentioned earlier, they're a machine. They were just going to keep on rolling. They're not a team of hot streaks and then dry spouts like most other teams in the NBA. They are able to keep it going all game long. And I thought that when Pop made that decision in the first game to put Boris Diaw in, I knew that was going to be a wrap because he's a mismatch just waiting to happen. And we talked about his basketball IQ. That's like having a complete another point guard on the court. I mean, when he's in the game, and it was too much for the Heat, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Matter of fact, I even unplugged my TV and I put it up on a big screen in my living room on a projector just so I can watch the Heat lose. And I watch every second of the last game.
Terrible. That's terrible.
I watch everything else.
Terrible.
But I enjoyed it. You know, needless to say. So I thought it was a great. I thought the Spurs were very well prepared, and the Heat, I thought that they got out-coached. I really thought Spo got out-coached. I thought that he was in over his head at a certain point in the series, and adjustments that he would have made, he didn't make. And I think that going from putting your starting point guard, who started all season for the last, 3 years, on the bench to almost a DNP, I thought that was just a clear sign that he got out-coached. That just doesn't happen from one game to the next that drastically, you know. So I enjoyed it. Looking forward to it again next year.
Well, I don't. Far be it from me to be a Spoelstra apologist, but I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't think there's anything Spoelstra could have done, any move that he could have made in that series that would have made it different. I think there's nothing else they could have done unless they had 5 LeBrons out there. There's nothing else they could have done to beat the Spurs, you know, and it was a defeated team. I saw that look. I mean, the same way Phil Jackson looked, you know, when the Pistons were doing the same thing to the Lakers on 04, and he benched Gary Payton, and it was the same thing, you know. It was just like, somebody give me something, please, you know, pull a rabbit out of a hat, something. And they didn't have it, man. And the Spurs were hitting shots. This comes down, just like Bill Russell said in the Uncle Drew commercial, this game will always be about buckets. And the Spurs were hitting buckets. Everybody was hitting buckets, all of them. Even Tiago Splitter was hitting buckets. I mean, Patty Mills is about to get a contract right now, you know, because of 3 games where he was hitting buckets. And he's not that good, but he's about to get paid because he was hitting buckets.
By the Knicks.
You know, yeah, somebody's about to overpay for this guy.
Absolutely.
At the right time, he was hitting buckets. And when that's happening, you can't rebound off of made shots. You can't get out on fast breaks when the other team is making shots. And, you know, it comes down to making shots, and the Spurs were making all kind of shots. So salute to them, man.
Okay, here's my take. The NBA is fixed. I'm just kidding.
You mean last year?
You know what's crazy? I completely hate when people say the NBA is fixed because I'm like, how do they fix the ball going into the basket. Like, how do they do that part? If the NBA is so fixed, like, all right, there's a magnet in the ball. It's gonna go directly through the net now. Like, I don't understand that. So, um, bottom line, bottom line, the better team won the finals. Um, I feel like I feel like we lost the series in game one when we didn't win game one. But part of me feels like if we would have won game one and game two, we would have still lost the series in seven. Um, the only reason I feel like that is because Chalmers was just out of whack. He was completely not himself. Like, Mario Chalmers thinks he's the best player on the Miami Heat team. No, I'm like, he thinks he's better than LeBron, like, dead serious. Like, and I didn't see that in his eyes and his face, like nothing. He just seemed flat. Like, like, he's not a dirty player. He was like elbowing Tony Parker and all of this extra stuff.
Hey,
like, that's
that
just
won y'all the game, though. That won game two for you.
Come on, man. He missed the free throws. And
Right.
LeBron being on the court won the game. But
No,
but the bottom line, I'll let you talk. I didn't interrupt you. But the bottom line is, yo, it's a make or miss league. And the Spurs made every single shot, covered, uncovered, wide open, closed out. Like, I went to the arena, I had to, like, I mean, I know he got blown out, but that junk was so dope. I went to my American Airlines Arena when I was in Florida, and we was watching the game, and, like, the way LeBron started Game 5, I got scared because it reminded me of 2010, how they started against the Mavericks. That's the same way they started against the Mavericks. Like, the Heat went up, everybody was excited, but we ended up losing the game. And it was just like when Patty Mills is hitting. But one thing I gotta say about Patty Mills, they let him be so aggressive in the series. That's cool when you're always like, he had that Patrick Beverly kind of thing going, where he could just like run into everybody. But that's a whole another different story. They couldn't miss.
Well, I don't know. I think saying like that is not giving them the right credit, because they were getting open shots.
Hold up, I let you talk. I'm talking now. I let everybody. You put it on the big screen and whatever. I'm not. See, this is my thing with the This is why it makes it very difficult for me for the Spurs. I have no reason to dislike the Spurs. Like, I can't even call it a rivalry because nobody's really mad at nobody. Like, nobody's angry. Everybody's shaking. Like, LeBron in Game 1 went up to Duncan and was like, yeah, I had to give them something to talk about like that kind of stuff. Like, nobody's mad. Like, they just playing ball. So, I mean, it's like, I guess I was cool with it. I was not happy, but I was cool. Like, if we'd have lost to anybody else, I'd be livid. To put it like that. But they were the better team. They couldn't miss. They moved the ball like crazy. I do agree with Tehran about the coaching. Eric Spoelstra went back to about 2006, 2007, 2008 when he was in the video room.
Yep.
Because the kind of stuff, I'm saved, so I'm saying stuff. But the kind of stuff he was doing when James Jones is getting, when James Jones is the first person off the bench, and you got Shane Battier sitting right there, like, it makes no sense. And when they start Boris Diaw, see, this is my biggest problem with Eric Spoelstra is this: he's a reactive coach. He's not a proactive coach. Everything has to go completely wrong for him to change anything. All he says is, we're going to stay the course, we're going to be patient, We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. He's not proactive. He doesn't see a situation before it goes wrong. Like he'll see a yellow light and stop in the middle of the street just because he knows it's about to turn red. But he ain't thinking about the car that's about to rear end him because he's stopping too soon. So he's not a proactive coach, and that's what I hate. Like Beasley got minutes in Game 5. Like the finals, dude. Like seriously, you benched this dude from like March. Didn't give him no time. He was in suits for like half the postseason, and now you just want get in there, Beasley, do your thing. Like it made no sense. So he was vastly outcoached, and also I really feel like ownership failed LeBron by not spending any. They didn't spend their mid-level exemption. Like there were plenty guys. Like there was a Caron Butler that we could have probably grabbed. I'm guessing it was a money issue. We could have grabbed Danny Granger. Like there's a couple of guys that we could have grabbed. They just beef the bench up. If you know that Beasley's not working and you don't like him, like switch him out. And like they don't really the whole Greg Oden thing. They started Greg Oden for like 4 games, and Roy Hibbert busted him up at one Pacers game, and Greg Oden got benched for like the rest of his life. Like it made no sense. So I mean, long and short of it is, we got beat by a better team. Take nothing away from them. Boris Diaw makes me sick. He ain't nothing but a fat small forward that's a center now. Like
He's a point guard, George. He's a point guard.
Boris Diaw is a fat small forward.
He's a point.
When he started off with the Hawks.
He was drafted as a point guard.
Do y'all remember Boris Diaw when he was on the Hawks?
Yes, he was drafted as a point guard.
He was about as skinny as Teron is. Now he got it. You see how flowing his jersey is? When he dribbles down the court, his jersey goes like this. It's a flowing jersey. He's a fat small forward. And I just never understood why he got doubled at any time in the game, because this dude was just waiting for the help to come every play, and he always just passed it off to the right guy. But Coach Spoelstra didn't see it, I guess. I don't know.
He's a point center, man.
He's a point center, right? Just like Sam Perkins. Anyway, so Tim Duncan just opted in, took his $10 million. I really thought he was gonna. I think this is gonna be his last year coming up, because I thought he was gonna opt out and take less money, but he opted in.
Why? Take less money.
That's the Spurs formula.
Yeah.
All of them dudes is taking less money.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, I don't think you're winning the championship with max deals anymore.
Yeah, I think the Spurs are rewriting the blueprint for winning. Like they really are. I don't know, man.
Max deals is not winning championships no more.
I have mixed emotions about that, because if I'm a player, yeah, championship is important, but that's my profession. Like I have a window of opportunity to get my money. Like you're not gonna get me to willingly give up money just to get a ring. Like I can't think like that. It doesn't make any sense. Like no one else in any other profession does that. Just willingly gives up income that can be generated for their family to benefit somebody else.
You don't think so?
Nah, I don't think so. Like if your job said, George, take a pay cut so we can go hire DJ because we know he's going to be an asset to the company.
But I think that's kind of different, because
I don't think so at all.
I can't. All right, DJ.
Yo.
If somebody came to you and was like, "Yo, DJ, we want," just say that, like, say Vindel, DJ, we want Vindel on this Joe gig, but you got to take like $50 left to get Vindel on the gig. Would you do it?
$50 is nothing.
$50 less.
But no, but that's what I'm saying. 50 to us, like them saying, "I'm not gonna take."
But LeBron,
I'm gonna take 10.
How much did LeBron take over pay cut?
I think
his first year.
It's shoot.
I think he gave up like $4 million a year or something like that.
Yeah, it's closer to about 6 because the max. The only person that took the max that year was Joe Johnson. His deal was like about 122, and I think everybody on the Heat got like about 117. I think Wade got the most out of everybody. So I mean, once you get into those levels of millions, I just don't think max deals is winning championships no more.
I'll give up $50, of course. That's nothing. but
to them,
that's not $50 to them, though.
If they give up $1 million to have him come here so we can win, not everybody's gonna think like that. Not everybody's gonna have that.
Give up $1 million. Like when people say he's taking pay cuts, they talking about significant. They talking about going from 19 to 7. Like that's a big difference. People talking about Carmelo should take a major pay cut. I'm like, for what? Like, why?
Because he wants to win.
Yeah, but he also wants to get paid.
It's not a guarantee that you're gonna win taking these pay cuts either. You know, so I mean, it's like if I got a contract like Carmelo's, and I'm gonna make 165 million over a certain amount of time, and you're saying you should just take the mid-level exception if you want to win, and then you criticize the guy for going.
Extreme.
But us talking about somebody's money is extreme. You know what I mean?
All right,
like us talking about these cats.
So why, when the Spurs do it, they're geniuses, but when the Heat do it, it's not cool? DJ.
Because the Spurs and the Heat were the good guy, bad guy thing. Okay? The reason why people love the Spurs, the reason why they love the Spurs is because they hate the Heat. Or they dislike the Heat. So, and this is what made me mad, because they were talking about team ball. Like the Heat didn't play team ball, beforehand. We talk about how unselfish LeBron is. We talk about how, the sacrifices that D-Wade made and Chris Bosh made. But then when the Spurs win, all of a sudden they're the example of team. We just go with whatever works. Whatever the hot thing is at the time, we'll go for that. But, what you have to find out, you have to be committed to whatever your system is, whatever your identity is. And let's not act like the Spurs are perennial champions. They've been 7 years since the last one. It's a 7-year gap. So their plan worked this year. So it doesn't mean the way that they structure the organization is going to perennially put you in a position to win championships.
That's a good point. All right.
There's a lot of first-round exits, too.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've been waiting for this young man to join this show for the longest time. Broadcasting live from the planet of Brooklyn, New York. We got Corey Reed in the house. What's going on, brother?
What's happening? What's happening, folks?
What's going on?
It's good.
So at this point, we're talking about, we're asking, can max deals still win championships? Because we're looking at the Spurs, what they did, the Heat, what they're trying to do, and we're trying to figure out will max deals get you championships nowadays.
I actually wrote a post on somebody's comment on Facebook wall about this some time ago, and I think as fans nowadays we put ourselves in positions where we get mad if a player leaves as a team that we like per se for a max deal or go someplace else for a max deal, and we forget at the end of the day that it's a business. Like everybody's trying to make money. Yeah, it's millions of dollars, but one, I don't condone leaving someplace chasing money rather than a championship, because a max deal, yeah, it may give you the most you can get out of your contract, but if you're just going for bucks, Robinson Cano or people like that, then you're pretty much saying that your sportsmanship and your desire to win really is lower than your need for a buck. And the Heat have shown it, and I heard you guys just talking about the Spurs have shown it, but there's so many teams where people are taking hold of, oh, hey, let's do this as a team as opposed to whatever the money we make. I understand that also brings into play markets and, where you are, big lights, big names. But I feel like ultimately we're going to see a shift of a lot of people feeling like, okay, well, let's do this as a team as opposed to me going out for the bigger contract.
Those are some great points. What do you guys think about that?
I don't think relationships can feed families. Like I think that once your contract is up and your income stream is cut off, your ring that you got or the 60 wins that you had for 3 or 4 or 5 seasons isn't going to feed your kids. It's not going to sustain your life.
Gerard, you sounded like Spreewell right now, man. I gotta stop you, dude.
Yo, wait a minute.
You sound like Spreewell. I need that extra $5 million. I got kids to feed, bruh.
Yo, George.
But look at Spreewell though. He's bankrupt right now. I mean,
you put it all in it. Oh, you put it all in them spinning rims.
You're absolutely right.
Look at Wes Matthews Sr., man. He got 2 rings, right?
Yo, that Spreewell joint was out of hand.
I be seeing him on the east side of Bridgeport.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, but we can't talk about how they handle their money. That's on them. LeBron just made 30 plus off of that Apple Beats deal.
Of course, but you can't compare LeBron and them.
But that's not something. The dude got in on the ground floor of a headphone company.
He also got a $90 million contract before he played an NBA game.
But time out. He had no clue that was gonna go like that. So I mean, for him to just get in, like some of these dudes, they're all investing. They all gotta have hustles outside of basketball.
But everyone doesn't think like that, George. You know that everyone doesn't.
Everybody's not marketable like LeBron is.
But like that. But what's the best way to put this? I have a hard time to believe that a majority of the guys in the NBA are only making their money from their NBA money and their sneaker deal money. They gotta have something else going on.
I don't think so, man. Because if you look at the makeup of the NBA, you have a lot of people that come from inner cities and that come from a quote unquote poverty-stricken lifestyle that have trust issues with family, all sorts of things like that. So once they get their contracts, it's not like they can easily entrust someone else with all their money, with all the talks of people getting scammed. So I think that there's a lot of possessiveness with the monies that they're getting, and I don't think people take the right advice. And you also have that he came from my hometown, let me help him out. You got people dealing with that and having friends and families take advantage of you. So I don't think that NBA players, broadly speaking, of course, manage their money well. I think that a lot of people from inner city just splurge their money. AI is a great example of it. He made millions and millions of dollars, splurged it.
Whoa. No AI slander. No AI slander.
Hold on, AI, I love AI, but when we talk about the financial part of the game and putting yourself in a position for long-term sustainability, I just think that not everyone has that. Like, that is something that you have to willingly do. Not everyone has that skill or has that want to do it. And I think that when we're in a sport where the league and the teams are making billions of dollars, I think the expectation from fans to ask players to take a pay cut of millions is just unreasonable.
But I don't think it's fans asking players to take a pay cut. These guys, this is something that they're doing. This is something that they're doing on their own. Like,
but that's one thing.
Just like you can't knock this person. Just like you can't knock Carmelo to opt out and look other places to see if he could get a better situation for himself. You can't knock somebody that's just gonna be like, do like the Westbrook or the Durant, and I'm just gonna max out on this extension. I can't knock nobody for how they handle their money either way, because if you're looking at, I really feel like the people that's about championships and legacy are really looking at the money like, okay, I'm gonna get this money either way. Like, I don't really feel like I don't really feel like I'm not saying that everybody in the NBA has their money correct, but what I really believe is like they gotta have a side hustle. They gotta have some sort of hustle like going on outside of just basketball. There's just no way, in my opinion. They gotta be bringing some bottles back to the store, man, and getting the money back. Like, there's gotta be something that they're doing. They can't. I just don't think they can just ball and like have their wife at home like doing nothing, just spending the bread.
Like I don't. You said not everyone is that marketable. I mean, this is a fact.
But everybody gets a sneaker deal, whether it be Li Ning or Apex or Starberries. Everybody got a deal.
George, nobody's going to Foot Locker and saying, "Let me get those Jimmy Fredettes."
But that is true. But Nike was not. Hey, if you see somebody wear Nikes for 82 games, that means Nike inked them, yo.
But he doesn't have the same value to Nike as a LeBron James does or a Kobe Bryant does. Therefore, he's not going to get the same dividends from that. The pay scale is a different thing, and so those guys 6 through 12 on the bench need that check, and they need that salary more so than the LeBron James does. So it's unfair to say, well, if you want to be a champion, you take much less than this, and then when you're out of the league, you're never going to earn the level of what you're going to earn while you're in the league, but we want you to do this for the sacrifice for the sake of a championship. To those guys, nah, that's not right. That's not right. I live by the GYM principle. GYM. Get your money.
But here's the thing.
Get it.
Those people on the end of the bench not making that much money, isn't it? Don't they have a bigger and greater reason to have a side hustle going on if they're only getting $1 million a year?
And yeah, that makes sense. But I'm saying that's not a given for everybody. Like they should have a side hustle. Everyone should have it, but I think it's wrong for us to criticize the ones that don't and say, well, you should take less money because you should have a side hustle.
Car wash, barbershop. Like there's a deacon in my church right now. He's from New Jersey, but he moved up to Connecticut, and he owns he runs a car dealing and car washing spot out here. Guess the investor into that to get him that place was Tiki Barber. He used to detail all the Giants cars and stuff like that, and he got that deal. Tiki invested. All Tiki is doing is coming in every month, hitting that register, grabbing his bread. Y'all good? I'm out. That's what he's doing. So like, I feel like everybody kind of has, well, not everybody, but I feel like a big majority of them have side hustles. So y'all don't. This is a good discussion. I like this discussion. Let's talk about the So who do you want to tackle first, Kevin Love or Melo? Because I heard that Derrick Rose prefers Kevin Love over Melo, and the Bulls have an offer ready for Kevin Love that might go down Thursday during the draft.
Derrick Rose is in no position. Right. Derrick Rose is in no position to say who he'd rather have. Derrick Rose hasn't played in 2 NBA seasons, so he's pretty much the wingman or the Robin to whoever comes to that team, because he has no say so in my opinion as far as who you would want more, either Melo or Kevin Love. That's just me.
The deal is already there's Taj Gibson, Tony Snell, and both their draft picks for Kevin Love.
They'll be out in the first round. You'll be out in the first round.
Really?
You're gonna give up Taj Gibson, who was heart and soul for that team last year, and Tony Snell, who's your best perimeter defender, and you're gonna give up picks.
Whoa,
Jimmy Butler.
Tony Snell is their best perimeter defender?
I'm sorry, not the best, but he's nice. And who you gonna replace him with?
Give Butler more minutes.
Bruh, you're getting the fourth. Was he fourth in scoring last year? And Kevin Love
On a garbage team.
walking double.
On a garbage team. We went through this in the last discussion.
I don't think his numbers would decrease like that.
So I'm not a Kevin Love guy.
I think it would help it.
So how do you look at Carmelo's numbers then?
Last season, probably the best season he's probably had in all categories. You can look at his stats. His shooting percentage was up. His field goal percentage was up. He had more assists, more rebounds. Like his best year was last year to me. It sounds like Derrick Rose has I want to be the main guy mentality, and I feel like him saying I want Love over Melo, he's getting somebody that's I want to say that can play second fiddle to him. Whereas when you bring Melo into Chicago, Melo's the main attraction now. I think that's more of a personal thing for Rose to try to keep the spotlight on himself. That's just me.
What you think, DJ?
I don't know. I don't think I even when I was living in Memphis, I got to see Rose play at University of Memphis a lot, and I just felt like that he's not that type of player to where it's like that. I think he feels he has a lot to prove since he's been out so long. I don't see why he wouldn't want the best help possible, and I don't think Love is the best help possible for the Bulls at all, especially not over a Melo. Melo is only gonna make them probably the best, depending on what the Heat does on this off season, as far as who they pick up or who they trade, whatever, and all that. But they'll probably be the best offensive team on the East.
So James and Teron, I'm gonna let y'all get that, but I gotta ask this question because of something DJ just said. If your team could pick between Carmelo Anthony and Kevin Love, it was your pick. Say you're drafting a team and you had Carmelo, Kevin Love standing in front of you. Who would you pick?
Without knowing our supporting cast that we already have?
Right.
I take Melo.
All day.
I take Melo.
Teron?
That's Carmelo. It's easy.
DJ?
Going with Melo.
Wow. Okay.
Only because Melo, like my man Corey said, the year Melo has just had, it was great, and especially, and it made it even look even better because of the terrible season the Knicks had.
All right. I'm gonna play devil's advocate because the dude in the orange shirt just said Kevin Love got his numbers on a garbage team.
But
and as far as I remember, Carmelo, if it wasn't garbage, it was about around the corner from the dumpster at least.
Okay, George.
So I'm personally gonna go with Kevin Love because number one, he's younger. He's improved his game every year. That rebounding is off the chain. He's off it. You can't stop him offensively. He's nasty. I mean, you can't even say defense because both of them are average at best on defense. I mean, I'm not really into that. I mean, Carmelo is the ISO jab step, jab step, jab step, jab step, jab step, jab step, 3-pointer. Kevin Love is like an inflow shooter and stuff like that. I mean, if I had both of them in front of me, if they put out a team next year, if the Bulls come out there with, oh my God, if the Bulls come out there with Derrick Rose, Kevin Love, Jimmy Butler, Joakim Noah,
Can I just tell you, you brought up, and I think the reason why it makes more sense to me for Melo is because Love has Rubio. He has a point guard that can handle the ball and get the ball around. Melo sometimes has to bring the ball up by himself. You can't trust Felton. You can't trust Prigioni. The Knicks team Melo had where he was somewhat successful was the team before this one with Kidd, Wallace, Copeland, Novak, Camby. This year his team was around the corner from garbage, but Kevin Love's played in Minnesota with the same cats, and it's not necessarily the best situation. So I'm gonna say he's used to playing with garbage. Melo, he had 1 year of playing with trash. So
you just said that Kevin Love has Rubio, and that just made me laugh just a little bit.
Rubio's not good to you?
Is he a difference maker?
He's a decent point guard that, as he said,
is he a difference maker? Can he hit a jumper? Can he play D? Can he stay healthy?
I think he'll be the starting point guard in the Heat right now.
I think he could play. I think he'll be the starting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the Lakers. So
not the two.
He'll start,
and that was very weak.
Start at the 2 for the Lakers.
Just facts.
It's weak because I got 3 Lakers fans in here. Thank God Cooley came here and
you just got mad because he jabbed you about the Heat, man. Come on, man. Let's stay relevant. Come on.
Hey, man, the champs take shots, bro.
Come on, Khaled, man. Jeez.
The champs take shots, man.
There's no Spurs fans. There's no Spurs fans in here.
So George, you're telling me, or you're telling us, you're saying that Kevin Love is a better look for the Bulls to pick up than Melo is?
Absolutely. I think the Bulls' biggest issue is having a legitimate scoring big. Remember they got Boozer because Boozer was just the last chick at the club.
Wow. Am
I lying?
Wow.
Come on, man. We all not all of us are married. DJ's not married. We're like we all been to the club, and you know how it go when you go from they all dancing together, and you gotta go find the one that you want to dance with. And if you don't get to the one you want to get to first, you stuck with Shorty.
Oh, girl.
That's the one that gives you her number before you ask for it. That one. That's Carlos Boozer. And they gave that bum a max deal. And look what happened. He can't play the fourth quarter.
He already had his deal.
And some hair paint.
Yeah.
Some good Beijing. You can't tell me Carlos Boozer don't got a side hustle in Beijing, Terod. I'm sure he does. He's invested. But I really feel like for the long haul, because one of the big this is just like stuff that I like rumors and stuff I heard like ESPN, Bleacher Report. Like one of the biggest reasons Melo opted out because he don't think he's gonna be able to stay healthy. Like carrying the load in New York. So when I look at a guy like Kevin Love, I feel like he fits in there perfect because they have enough defensively to manage his I guess whatever deficiency he might have. That's the only reason.
You know what happened to the last team that chose somebody else over Melo? Yeah, neither does Detroit. They don't want to remember that. That's the Sam Bowie effect. That Darko Milicic pick before Melo. Don't tell me Kevin Love is the best fit for Chicago than Carmelo.
Can we knock Joe Dumars for not taking Melo right there? Can we knock him for real?
Fresh off an NCAA championship, you gonna take Darko Milicic? Okay.
At that time,
hey, Joe.
At that time, Tayshaun Prince did look like he was about to be the next big thing. And the only weak link in that starting five, I would say, was Ben. Because was it Billups, Hamilton, Tayshaun, Rasheed, and Ben Wallace?
Ben was a defensive player of the year, though, man.
I'm trying to figure out how he was a weak link.
All right, I can't say we. I understand why they took Darko over Carmelo.
How many minutes did Darko play in Detroit?
13.
That's about right. That's a good estimate.
About 13.
But
so you wasted a pick on somebody to sit on a bench?
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I mean,
they got lucky. The luck of the lottery put them there, man, and they blew it. But at the same time, what did they get? Two? Did they get 2 rings or one?
One.
I mean,
and I don't like to talk about it.
I can't really knock them for not taking them. I mean, yeah, I can't knock them for not taking them.
The only reason why I bring up Detroit is to say, as the Chicago Bulls GM, do you want to look back and say, okay, this is the second time that this happened. We should have went with Melo as opposed to the other guy. No slacking on Kevin Love. Not saying that he's a scrub, but as a GM, do you want to look back and say, I'm so mad we could have picked Melo, but we took the other
guy? So you don't think Love getting on the Bulls is gonna decrease what's my man name? Noah's numbers?
Absolutely not. Because Noah's not really a numbers guy.
Well, he is a walking triple double.
He ain't no walking triple double.
Yeah, he 10-10-10. That's
How many times did he do that last year?
Remember, I mean, he's able to all right. He's gonna get you 10 points and 10 rebounds. Only reason why, and I think Melo would be that person to make him the actual triple double he could be. Melo has no problem catching and shooting.
We all know that. That nigga's in his bed right now catching and shooting. Trust me.
Ugly 62.
Ugly 62.
Yeah, we miss Nick, yo. We need Nick here. Funny story, like we got a group me chat, and one of my boys posted that the Knicks are willing to deal Shumpert for a late first round pick, and we heard in the story it said the Heat are interested, so I'm praying with both fingers crossed, my eyes crossed, my toes crossed, that it goes down. So like Nick comes in the chat and like, there's no way in the world that's gonna happen. How could you say that? And then my boy was like, hey man, don't blame me. They said it. No. We need Nick Bayless here, yo.
Hey George, I just got an update, man. You might want to hear this. Y'all might want to hear this. The Jazz are offering Derek Favors, Alex Burks, and the number 5 pick to the Cavaliers for the number 1 pick in Jarrett Jack.
Wow. Repeat that one more time so I can do my trade processor in my head.
All right. The Utah Jazz are offering up Derek Favors, Alec Burke, and the number 5 pick to Cleveland for the number 1 pick in Jarrett Jack.
Corey, you go. Yes or no?
I think that's tricky because as of right now, we don't know who the number 1 pick has changed like 3 or 4 times. So that's kind of a gamble to be like, because we don't know yet who's going to be like, and for Wiggins to allegedly be the number 1 pick, that's only by technicality because somebody else is injured. So I don't know.
So if you're the Cavs, do you pull the trigger on that deal?
I think you would have to offer me Favors, okay. Burke and Jared Jack is one of those spark plugs that can give you energy off the bench because you already got Kyrie. You need somebody to man the floor when Kyrie's on the bench. So I don't know. I don't think I would pull. I wouldn't pull a trigger if that was me.
You would say no. DJ, would you pull the trigger on that deal?
Yes. I would pull the trigger. You're gonna get a nice pick, fifth. It's fifth pick, right, James?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna get a decent pick. Like you have Kyrie, you have Dion Waiters, you have Favors. As far as defensive purposes, kinda in a sense, Luau Deng. So you have a nice core, and you pick up somebody that can be groomed for your bench. I think it'll be dope, and your Burke, of course, coming off the bench as well. I think it'll be great.
James, what do you do?
I don't do that.
You don't do it? Why not?
If I'm the Cleveland Cavaliers, I don't do that deal. For two reasons. Number one, I'd rather have Jabari Parker than anything that Utah has given me in this trade. Number two, Cleveland already has 35 power forwards on their team. Like, they've got so many power forwards. It's ridiculous. They're like, what are they building, a football team there? They've got a whole bunch of power forwards already. They drafted one who's a bust. Then they drafted another one, Tyler Zeller. They got Tristan Thompson. They got two more on the team. Like, you need guards. Why would you trade for another power forward? It makes no sense from that standpoint. And I'd rather have Jabari Parker. I know Utah with the whole Mormon deal because Jabari Parker's a Mormon, so they'll do whatever it takes to get him. That's I don't know that benefits the Church of Mormon and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's and he actually, I don't know if he took his mission yet, but I think he still has to do like a 1-year mission too. So whoever drafts him has to deal with that. So it's the perfect fit in Utah. And then he'd be like the 35th black person in Utah. But anyway, I don't do that deal. I'd rather have. You got to give me some more than that.
Okay.
I slid that one in. I'm sorry.
I do that. I do that deal yesterday, and here's a couple reasons why. The first reason is whoever's at 5 is going to get Jabari Parker anyway, unless Utah takes him number 1. Jabari Parker is not going in the top 5 and top 4. He's not.
Word?
Wiggins, Embiid is still going to go in that top 4 somewhere. What's the other dude name? I totally forgot.
Exum.
Thank you. Read my mind. Holy Ghost. Exum is going to go. So I do that deal in a heartbeat. Now, I kind of disagree with what you were saying, James. I think that the guys that they have, Thompson, Tristan Thompson, Anthony Trash Bag Bennett, they're like tweeners. They're like 3-4 Larry Johnson kind of people without the jumper. So I gotta take that deal. You getting the Favors because I don't know if they're gonna be able to. Is Varejao a free agent or anything like that, or is he coming back?
He's coming back.
He's coming back. Mm-hmm. I think Deng is gonna be out of Cleveland, like gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
So and I really think that the Cavaliers wanted Embiid, and I think they realized how bad they messed up last year by keeping their number 1 pick, and I think that they really don't want to mess up again. But and I don't think they want Wiggins. I really don't think they want Wiggins. I just don't think they want Wiggins, and I take that deal. Favors, you getting 3 lottery picks for Jared Jack and the number 1 pick. I take that.
I don't know, man. I don't see what Derek Favors has done so far to warrant that. You know, I mean, he's a decent player. I just don't see what he's done so far to warrant giving up the opportunity to have Jabari Parker. I think Jabari Parker would be better than, and not, from Utah standpoint, I understand, but from Cleveland standpoint, I wouldn't do that deal.
So wait, you think Jabari Parker is going number 1?
If not 1, 2. I think Parker and Wiggins are going to be 1 and 2 in this draft. I do. I mean, tell me, when I watched college basketball last season, the guy who I saw was ready to play in the NBA right now is Jabari Parker. You can plug him in, and especially on the team that's drafting that high, you can plug him in and just go. The rest of these guys, you know, it's a talented draft. It really is, but you know, there's a lot of what ifs that are going on. So you know, I think he's probably one of the safer bets. You know, and other than the Mormon issue, I don't think there's any red flags on the guy. So, you know, but this is Cleveland we're talking about. So, you know, Cleveland will wind up drafting Doug McDermott number 1 and shock the world.
That's true. All right, let's touch on a couple more rumors. Now, I alluded to it earlier. The shump for the shump for the late first round pick. Are the Knicks just reaching right now, or because
absolutely?
It seems like the Knicks are constantly putting Shumpert in trade rumors. Like they don't. It's like they don't want to keep him.
And for what, I don't know.
I don't know if it's not the Knicks not wanting to keep him as much as it is realizing the talent that he is, that you could possibly get something of value for him now as opposed to waiting down the line and you lose whatever you could possibly get from him. So I don't know if it's not wanting him, more so of what can we get in return that is equivalent or a little bit better than what he is.
Best asset they got right now to get something back. You know, they're trying to clear space to get in a position to make a major run in 2015, and so they want to get as many contracts off the books as possible. They're stuck with Amari. They're stuck with Bargnani, who both opted in as soon as they could, and I don't blame them. But those contracts come off next year. So, you know, they're trying to clear as much space as possible and then go to LeBron or whoever else they got their sights set on, whether it's a pipe dream or not. They want to say, hey, it's New York. You know, we got all the space in the world. I'm Phil. And, you know, let's build it. So, you know, he's got value. He's got some value to him. And that's the best they can do. You can't offer J.R. Smith. You know, no one's taking that. You know, no one's taking that. So, I mean, he's the best thing they got of value to offer, and let's see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a fire sale coming out of there, man. But you know, if I'm Iman Shumpert, I'm like, hey, let me get out of here. You know, trade me. You know, get me out of here. And you know, so it could work, but you know, that's the best they can do right now.
I mean, honestly, as a Heat fan, I'm praying and wishing that they trade that pick for Iman Shumpert, because I don't think the Knicks realize what kind of guy they have. And plus, I'm nasty with Iman Shumpert on 2K. You gotta understand, like, I go sick with Shumpert on 2K. Like, 30 a game. So if I had Shump on the Heat, oh my goodness, it would be just over. I just murdered. I'm dead serious. The first thing I thought about. But I guess we're gonna do another one of these this week, because I know there's gonna be a bunch more trade rumors and stuff like that popping up. The Kevin Love to the Warriors deal died because they didn't want to part with Klay Thompson. But I haven't heard any other, like, that was like the first I heard of the Jazz Cavs deal. I think they should do it, but I don't think they're gonna do it. But I don't really think the Cavs are gonna take that deal. But We'll get back on this. We'll probably get back on this Thursday. Let's probably do this Thursday. We should do it before or after the draft, because the draft get long, and it's only 2 hours. After the first round.
After.
We'll do it after the first round, because by then
round.
all the trades will be in and stuff like that, and we could really like get into it. Because I ain't gonna front and sit down like I'm a NBA pundit and like I'm watching the second round. Like that guy from Weber State, he's gonna watch out for him. Like I'm not that cat, yo.
Right.
I know who Norris Cole was till Pat Riley drafted him. But I was like, what? We got who? Y'all right, Morris. But yeah, man, this has been fun. I got people dropping like flies. DJ's gone, Teron's gone, but Corey and James are still here. But I stood up to the heat. I'm just glad there's only one Lakers fan left in this room,
Well,
and we didn't have a chance to talk about them and the fact that they still don't have no coach.
Well, look, man. I think you should do me a solid because I've been real nice to you about this Heat stuff.
But you was laughing. You was laughing hard though. You was laughing.
I mean, I can do that. You know, I can do. I didn't include you in any of the memes that I reposted. I didn't include you in any of the trash I was talking. I
follow you, James. I saw them.
But I didn't tag you in none of them. Okay, I had my fun, but I didn't tag you because I knew you were mourning. I knew you were dealing with it, and so I said, "Let me be nice to my man. Let him breathe." You know, what I'm saying that's my fellow Cowboys fellow. So let him breathe a bit because I know he's dealing with it. But I didn't get at you at all. So you know, I'm going to ask you to be easy on my Lakers right now. Just be easy.
No, trust me. As long as we doing these shows, we gonna get on them Lakers.
Okay.
Trust that. That's just something that's just gonna happen.
Well, be prepared because whoever lost the finals is the biggest loser, and right now that would be you. So be encouraged.
Whoever lost in the finals is the biggest loser, not the team that's paying the guy that's in Brazil right now $30 million to go watch the World Cup.
Oh, what about the team with the guy with no knees about to pay him $25 million?
Four straight finals.
Yep. You can chill. Y'all still the big loser.
Anyway.
1, 2. 2 out of 4 ain't bad, I guess.
Good luck in the lottery.
God bless you. Be encouraged.
Fans. I hope you do well at pick 7. We all know Lucky 7 is gonna come up for you.
Yeah. Good luck on good luck on trying to get the rest of your team to sign minimum deals, so you can re-sign 3 guys who may or may not win.
Good luck in 2010. See, the Lakers don't understand because the Lakers don't make good free agency acquisitions.
The Lakers don't make good free agency acquisitions.
Paul Gasol was a steal.
That was a trade.
Oh.
That was a trade. I mean, Shaq was a great free agency acquisition.
There you go. And what year did y'all sign Shaq?
96.
Okay. And it's 2000 what?
It's 2014.
So in about 2 years, it's going to make 20 years that y'all haven't made a decent free agent acquisition. Shout out to Mitch Kupchak and the Buss family.
Ron Artest was a good free agent acquisition.
Yeah, right.
We got a championship off of him.
Y'all let go of Trevor Ariza to sign better.
We got a championship with Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza's agent tried to highball the Lakers. We signed Ron Artest for the same
Ron Artest more money.
No, they paid him the same thing. 5 years, $37 million. Paid him the same thing they offered Trevor Ariza and won a championship.
Y'all only won that championship because Kendrick was hurt.
Hey,
anyway,
when you win, you win. If it was a fifth, we all be drunk. Don't give me those ifs, man.
Anyway.
Y'all won the championship last year because Tim Duncan missed the layup. Don't give me that, man.
Tim Duncan missed the layup.
The guy missed the free throw. Don't give me those ifs, man. Never
Chris Bosh grabbed the rebound. But don't forget about Chris Bosh grabbing a rebound from 4 Spurs.
Scooter Bosh grabbed the rebound. I'm so glad for Scooter Bosh. He grabbed the rebound. Thank you.
Man, got that ring.
I'm so proud of him. Give him a cookie. Yeah.
All right. Let me ask Corey. Let me ask Corey.
Has a bad game.
Let me ask Corey something real quick. Do you understand why Lakers fans who are in the Western Conference, why they hate the Heat so much that are in the Eastern Conference?
It's not a matter of Lakers hating the Heat, and this is part of my issue with not you, but the new Heat fans, is that everybody who's claiming Heat Nation only came when LeBron or the Big Three was there, and now I feel like, all right, I'm gonna give it to you straight. I used to be the biggest Kobe hater on the planet. Used to be. His game made me change my tone real quick about him as a talent. And I feel like now new Heat fans are trying to make LeBron, they're trying to put LeBron over Kobe, and Kobe hasn't hung up his shorts yet. I think that's where the Laker Heat hate comes from, is that Laker fans understand that let's call a spade a spade.
Say it. Come on, say it. I'm waiting for it. It's right there on the tip of your tongue. Come on, son.
Let's call a spade a spade. Laker fans had or have the next greatest player on their team. Heat fans think that LeBron James is usurping Kobe in that category, so Heat fans give the LeBron argument, and Laker fans are saying, but we still have Kobe being Bryant. So I think that's where it comes from.
I personally think it's the total opposite. They see the fact that LeBron has surpassed Kobe. They see the fact that the Lakers haven't beat the Heat. I think one time, the whole time, the Big Three was put together. Just once. And Bosh was out that game. And and this is not James. This is not a shot at James. I'm just talking about the psycho Lakers fans. They don't like anybody being better than whoever their star is at that time. And the fact that LeBron has passed Kobe to the point where there's no chance of Kobe remotely even catching up to him, team-wise, anything. And I think that they're just really, really upset. But let there be a rumor, like that rumor came out the other day about how LeBron and Savannah loved LA. I saw the real Lakers fans, then I saw the Lakers fans. Ooh. Oh, now we love Bron. Put him in yellow and purple. Man, whatever. Kobe's washed. He's washed. He might as well be a fat small forward like Boris Diaw.
That's crazy, man.
Kobe about to play the 4.
That's crazy.
Kobe about to play the 4. He is finished. His body can't keep up with it no more. His game in itself doesn't facilitate for nobody else but himself. Nobody wants to play with him.
I think
obvious.
I'm gonna say this, man, and I think I'm qualified to say this because I'm one of the few Lakers fans that actually has all of my sense. So I can say this. I've been a Lakers fan since 1982, so I didn't come around, just on the bandwagon. I've been here since I was 4 years old. First game I ever saw was the Lakers versus the Utah Jazz. Adrian Dantley scored like 38 points on us, but we still won. I still remember that game. So I've been here and around. I've seen the Lakers win 9 championships in my lifetime. So I'm back in the old days of the Forum.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said it earlier during the call. When he came out of high school, I didn't like him. We came out of the same year, 96. I didn't like him. I didn't like the guy. But I separated my personal feelings of Kobe Bryant as an individual because I don't know him. I don't know any of these NBA players.
Right.
But I just saw what he did on the court and what he does on the court. We get to this whole ranking and file. I'm probably one of the few people who actually likes both guys. You don't find that. You don't find people. Usually, folks who love Kobe hate LeBron. And folks who love LeBron hate Kobe. And You know, and there's
And I
like
love Kobe.
no
I don't
in
want nobody to get
between.
it twisted.
Instead of appreciating.
I love the Mamba. Don't get it twisted. But I just know when I'm reading the book.
George, the way you're saying that is like a white racist person saying some of my best friends are black.
Hold on, time out. Let me finish my point. That did sound like that. But all I'm saying is that when I'm reading the book, everybody knows when you reading the book, you always know when that book is about to end, bro. Because the left side of that book get mad heavy, and the right side of that book it be mad light. And no matter how good the book is, we look at Kobe, and Kobe is at Revelations 18 right now, bro. And everybody think that Kobe is still in numbers, but he's not.
Kobe fans, the Kobe stands look at Kobe Bryant in a reverential light, and they don't see anything else but Kobe being that. Everybody else wants Kobe to be euthanized, like that horse that won a Kentucky Derby, and they just want to slide him off to the pasture and kill him. They want him to die, and Kobe's not with that. Kobe still wants to play. I will say this: the last time we saw him play before the Achilles injury, he was carrying that team on his back to the playoffs. That second half of 2013, which was just last year, that second half of the season, beyond the All-Star break, he and Dwight Howard, somehow they came together and they were putting in work that last half of the season. And then, that injury, which could happen to anybody and would keep anybody out for that amount of time, it happened to him. And, this is a guy who's played through multiple injuries. He's had a broken everything. He carried his one leg around in 2010 and won the championship. So, that was a legitimate injury, and it is what it is. He's still, this will be year number 19 coming up. But for him, he's put in, and there's no doubt about it, LeBron James is the best basketball player in the world. There is no doubt about it. He has been for the past 5 years, 6 years at least, been the best basketball player in the world. My thing is, let's appreciate them both, because you may not get this for a long time. I don't see people appreciating either one of them like they really should be. Either they're going overboard on LeBron and trying to kill Kobe. Man, look at Kobe's career. This guy's putting in some serious work here, and is one of the greatest to have ever played. So to have two guys who are, and that's a big statement to say, man. To have two guys who are playing at the same time that are of the greatest to have ever played a game, let's just appreciate the guys and let's stop all the back and forth about them. I like both of them.
You know what it is?
All I'll say is this, and then I'll let Corey wrap it up. When they was putting all them three-peat posts making fun of the Heat, and they had Kobe in there flashing his three fingers, and I was like, well, Shaq was the MVP of all three of those. But never mind. Go ahead, Corey.
No, Corey, hold on. Corey, let me get this in, bro. Corey, let me get this in. I know you got to talk.
No hate.
If there's anything that makes me mad, because I don't cape up for Kobe Bryant that much, but I'm gonna use a Jay-Z line. Do you just read books or do you skim through them? When it comes to Kobe, when you're holding up a jersey when he was going 13-8 for the Heat, put that jersey down, man. When this people act like Kobe was like this tag along. People act like Kobe was like Mike Miller or something playing for the Lakers.
I'm not trying to say that, James. All I'm saying there was
you know what happens? People look at what Shaq did in the finals when he's going up against Rick Smits and Todd McCullough.
Whoa, bro. Time out. Because I do remember that, if I'm not mistaken, the Lakers went 15-1 in one of those runs to the championship.
2001, they swept it. Yeah.
Let's not just act like he did all his work. And I'm not acting like Kobe didn't help. Kobe was definitely the second best player on those teams. But
here's the thing about that.
In that time frame, there was no better basketball player on the face of this earth than Shaquille O'Neal. He made them
want you to go back
change the game. There's zone defense in the NBA because of Shaq.
I want you to go back and look at those playoff series because to get to the finals, you got to get through the Western Conference. And in those Western Conference, they had to get through the Kings, the Blazers, and the Spurs.
And who led the charge?
The guy who was on the bench, I'm going to talk about it. On home games, because I watched all of them. On home games, Shaq was a dog. On road games, they leaned on Kobe like never before. Shaq would be fouled out or in foul trouble or couldn't hit free throws, and they had to pull him out at the end of games. And they had, because the offense is all built around Shaq, they had nobody to go to. And Kobe was rescuing on jokers. Go back to Game 4, 2000 playoffs. Asked the Spurs about him in 2001. Asked the Kings about him in 2001. 2002 asked the Kings about him. This dude was carrying them a great deal to get to the finals.
I can't give him carrying. I give him helping. Come on, we got to close out because it's almost midnight over here. Corey, say what you got to say, man.
Two things. The one point I was going to bring up, you brought up already about Kobe carrying his fair share of that weight during those championship seasons. But what I was going to say, I think, to close it out, is that what we're pretty much seeing right now is in the Jordan's career, Kobe coming into the league, and Jordan was still MJ, but then he went to the Wizards, and then it was like, all right, well maybe we should look at passing the torch soon to this young fella in the Lakers. I think it's the same with LeBron and Kobe now, where even though Jordan's out of the league, people still refer to Jordan as the greatest. And I think that's where Kobe and LeBron fall into the second fiddle, is because now they're going through that same transition. Kobe's on his way out, and they're trying to deem LeBron the best, but people are still going to be like, well, what about number 8 from LA? Like, we're not going to act like he just never played in the league before.
Right.
So I think that's just what's happening now. We're seeing the transition as it took place before.
All right, guys, we're wrapping up. We'll be back Thursday. There'll be much more Heat hate.
Oh yeah.
But I'm here to give a very fair and unbiased opinion.
Whatever, man.
So always count on me. 3 fingers to my head like Melo. All right, y'all. This has been 150 Sports Talk, man. I'll talk to y'all later.